Hi, this is Sandy Walden from Serenity, your grief coach and grief coach trainer. I've got a question for you. And before you answer, I'd really like you to take a deep breath and feel through yourself for what that answer might be. So here we go. Is it okay for you to feel a little bit better? Is it? I ask you this because I woke up this morning well rested and this thought kept going through my head that so often it's a choice. And I wonder, do you feel like it's okay to make that choice? Here's where some of this comes from. Now, I've been a coach, 700 years, long time. But a little over a year ago, I shifted my focus to grief. And there's reasons for this. In 2010, my son Mike died of suicide. So, as you probably know, there's a lot of stigma and there's a lot of shame for many people around the word suicide. That was never my truth, and that's okay. We all do this our own way. My focus has always been on the amazing guy that Mike was, and the fact that I believe we still have an ongoing relationship with him on the other side. And we can talk a whole lot about that in other posts and other recordings because we continue to communicate. But here's the deal. I remember getting messages, sometimes typed, sometimes just sort of a look or a thought, sometimes expressed, that I wasn't suffering enough. I had no business laughing or feeling okay because after all, my son had died. Is that true for you? Do you need to suffer forever in the most horrible way because the one you love isn't sitting next to you today? I'm not telling you what's right or wrong. I'm asking you to discern your truth. It might look just like mine. It might be very different. It might be somewhere in between. My truth is that I might be wired a little bit different than someone else. Well, the truth is we're all wired in the way that makes us the individuals we are. And I think that's okay. Feeling better for me was essential because it's part of who I am. So I'd like you to think about this. While I say it's a choice, it's not always a deliberate and conscious choice. Sometimes it starts way back here, and we don't know what it is. Maybe it's simply a longing for a moment of calm. Let's put this in some other ways that'll make sense for probably most everybody. If we think about getting really fit, we probably don't start out with lifting heavy weights or running 10 miles, or we most likely don't start into this incredible eating regimen, which we know would be ideal for us. When we think about being fit, it usually starts with, I'm kind of tired. I had a little more trouble lifting that box than I would have thought. Golly, tying those shoes is more effort than it used to be. What I'm saying is it usually starts with an awareness that something is not quite the way we would prefer. After that, we might say, I need to move around a little more. Maybe the next step is buying a pair of sneakers or cutting out some of the pretzels. My personal failing, and I'm not going to ever give them up completely because I love them. it's one step at a time. It's a little bit. Personally, I think that when we're healing from grief, it can be the same way. Perhaps we're saying, you know what? I really enjoy this hamburger I'm having right now. Is that feeling better? It might be. For me, it certainly was. I couldn't put a bite of food in my mouth something like 4 or 5 days after my son died. When I was able to eat, that was feeling a little bit better. Did it mean that I've returned to who I was? No. And that's okay. The truth is, I'm never going to be the same person I was before Mike died. For so many reasons. Part of it has to do that I've now experienced that incredible grief, as well as the grief of losing other people I love. I'm also 9 years older. Other things have changed in my life as well. But I've learned to like who I am. Healing, and you notice I use the word with an ing, is a process. Is it okay if your grieving and healing looks just a little bit different than someone else's? Is it okay if you feel better for a few moments? If you enjoy the sunshine on your face? Is that a betrayal of the one you love? What if you'd go out and enjoy that sunshine and you imagine that they might enjoy it too? How does that feel? This business of making those steps along the path through grief into healing is not all at once. Remember what we talked a few minutes ago about the idea that I want to be more fit? I don't go from being a couch potato to an amazing athlete. It begins with an awareness that I want to feel better. There might be 17 steps between wanting to feel better and buying those new sneakers. Or it might be the next step. I don't know. But I know there are certainly many steps from buying those sneakers to being at optimal fitness. And that's okay. So what I'd encourage right now is just asking yourself, is it okay if I feel a little bit better in this moment? How about if I imagine this person with me? And I might be teary. Trust me, I'm not pretty when I'm teary. I might be snotty and messy and all red. Is that okay? What if I imagine some of the laughs we used to have together? And oh my gosh, they're loud and they still run through my head. That's why I share jokes every week on my group. Because Mikey loved jokes. Truth is, so do I. So do my sons and my husband. And now my grandchildren are starting to love those corny jokes, especially the eldest grandson. It's hilarious. Every time I hear the little guy tell me a joke, and sometimes he can't get through the whole thing without breaking up, it reminds me of Mikey. And that feels amazing. That feels amazing. My friends, I really hope that you're able to take this on board for a moment. If they're a little at once or all at once, whatever feels okay for you, ask yourself, is it okay for me to feel a little bit better? And what might that look or sound like? Step into it when you are ready, at the pace you're ready. And I hope you share your thoughts and comments here because I really want to know. I think it's an awful lot easier to have the support of other people. And it's okay if you disagree with me. In fact, I think that sparks amazing, interesting conversation that's healthy for all of us. So thank you for giving me a little bit of time. 10 minutes. I didn't ramble nearly as long as I'm going to, but be assured I've got an awful lot more to say about this in the future. If you'd like to have more conversation and share about this more and contemplate healing on other levels, that is bringing your loved one with you, with a new relationship, head on down to my link for my group that's in the comments below this, because I think conversation matters. I think when we share our thoughts and our hearts, that it's good for all of us. So I'm Sandy Walden from Serenity. Today, I wish for you moments of absolute joy, moments of peace, calm, and feeling a little bit better. Until we chat again, be well. Namaste.